Now, you've been pursuing this research for quite a while, right? So I think I heard recently that you've been working for 20 years plus at the Brigham. Is that correct?
Yeah, for better or for worse, yes, it's been that long. It's been over 2 decades of work here at the Brigham, working on nutrition research as well as dietary supplement research and other research I'm involved in. It's a labor of love, especially with these larger scale trials that I and others in our group have been involved in over the years, because you design a trial in particular with specific goals and health outcomes in mind without knowing what those results will be. It's what we call equipoise, but also then being patient enough to wait those 5, 6, 7 or more years for the results to manifest itself, and to be able to report that's of course very exciting. But I've been very fortunate to be part of the Brigham and Mass General Brigham community as long as I have.
And on a personal note, what brought you to medicine, and what brought you to the research that you're doing?
Yeah, I think everyone always has a unique path when it comes to research, and especially clinical research and also epidemiology. It's not something that I was growing up saying I want to be an epidemiologist when I was 3 years old. But yet the research that I've been involved in, particularly with regard to not just dietary supplements and nutrition, but just thinking more broadly about lifestyle, the impact of lifestyle and behavior on health and how we can improve it from a prevention standpoint, I would say largely stems from my experiences when I was younger. My father had his first of several heart attacks actually when he was 39 years old. So I was quite young at the time, and it was very much a wake-up call for us as a family. Fortunately, he survived. But at the same time, we started adapting a lot of the American Heart Association guidelines for dietary recommendations and other things, and tried to take on a much healthier lifestyle. And that, over time, kind of got rolled in with interests in mathematics and statistics and biology, and somehow out of that, I became an epidemiologist and doing a lot of the work that I'm still doing today. So it's in many ways for me quite personal, a lot of the work that I do, as well as hopefully inspirational to try and take the work that we do and apply it to not just individual patients, but to the broader population, and truly try to improve public health in a meaningful way.
Thank you. And building on that, what are your aspirations? What are you looking forward to in relationship to the research you're doing? What outcomes are you looking for?
Yeah, I think it's interesting. As a researcher, your interests evolve over time. And so one thing I've been fascinated by is that, when I was initially doing a lot of work, it was focused on very specific components of the diet and behavioral aspects with respect to cardiovascular disease and hypertension. And I still retain those interests. But one thing I've appreciated, and perhaps it goes along with the aging of a lot of the trial cohorts I've been involved in, but having a much greater appreciation for how do we improve and create healthy aging, and not just healthy aging, but functional aging. And so for me, an aging construct has become of greater interest to me, in how we can integrate other aspects of health and the health system. And this is where, for me, Osher really comes into play quite nicely, looking at health from a far more holistic standpoint, and how do we can take what we know, whether it's in nutrition research or dietary supplement research, but also taking other aspects of health and rolling those into a far more integrated fashion to really improve health outcomes over time. So I feel like my goals have gotten a little bit broader in terms of prevention, but I think that what's often viewed as a potentially beneficial behavioral change for one outcome often has crossover appeal to other outcomes as well. And I think that's often missed in a lot of the research that we do. So I'm excited to really try and broaden out the way we can apply our research, my own research, in fact, into different health outcomes across the spectrum of aging.